All right, let's talk about it. The single biggest question hanging over the tech world right now. And you know what? We've got some brand new data that might just help you sleep a little better tonight. Let's get into it.
I mean, you see it everywhere, right? This question is on everyone's mind, and honestly, it makes total sense. AI is moving at a wild pace, so it's only natural to look over your shoulder and wonder about your career. But is AI really coming for DevOps and site reliability engineering jobs?
Well, to really figure this out, we're going to look at this fascinating new study that put the most advanced AI models in the world to the test. And the results? Well, they were definitely not what you'd expect.
So this company, Quesma, they decided, okay, enough hype. They took 14 of the top frontier AI models and basically gave them a pop quiz on some basic site reliability engineering tasks. They wanted to see what these tools could actually do when the rubber meets the road.
And what did they ask these super powerful AIs to do? Well, it all centered around a concept that is absolutely fundamental in modern apps: distributed tracing.
And this is so important to understand. Back in the day, if your app ran on one machine, you could just look at a log file to find a problem. Easy. But now, modern apps are spread across hundreds of little microservices. So one single click from a user gets shattered into what the study calls a chaotic fire hose. Distributed tracing is the magic that pieces that whole journey back together. So here's the kicker. The AIs weren't given some messy, ancient, tangled-up system. Nope. Their task was to add standard instrumentation to a tiny 300-line microservice, written in clean code. I mean, on paper, this should have been an absolute cakewalk for them. But it was not a cakewalk. Not even close. The best of the best, a model called Claude Opus, only managed to get the job done right 29% of the time. Just let that sink in for a second. On a simple, straightforward DevOps task, the top AI model failed more than 70% of the time.
The researchers who ran the test were floored, and their conclusion is pretty blunt. If these models are falling flat on 300 lines of clean code, there's just no way they're ready to handle the chaos and complexity of a real, high-stakes production environment. Not even close. So that leads to the million-dollar question. Why? Why do these incredibly advanced models faceplant on such a basic task? To get that, we've got to pop the hood and see how these things actually think. Okay, so one of the biggest problems is something called the context window. The easiest way to think about it is like our own working memory. We can only juggle about 7 things in our head at once. For an AI like Claude, that window is massive, 200,000 tokens. But here's the catch, and it's a big one. Once that window gets about 40% full, the AI starts to, get confused. Its performance just tanks. It starts forgetting instructions and making mistakes. And this isn't just a theory. The author of our source article told this wild story about giving his AI assistant a complex job on his Kubernetes cluster. As the AI's context window filled up, it started going rogue. It just ignored his explicit instructions to use their safe automated process and tried to apply changes directly to the live production cluster. He had to literally hit Control-C to stop it before it broke something. That's the risk in a nutshell. So, on top of that context window issue, you've got other big problems. Their output is non-deterministic, which is a fancy way of saying it's unpredictable. You never know exactly what you're going to get. They really struggle in systems that use a mix of programming languages. And maybe the most important reason, they just don't have enough good training data, because all the best-in-class SRE knowledge is locked away inside the private code of companies like Google and Netflix, not sitting on public GitHub repos. Okay, so we've pretty clearly established that AI is not ready to be your new on-call engineer. But that is not the end of the story. In fact, this is where things get really, really interesting for anyone working in DevOps today. The AI boom is just staggering. I mean, trillions of dollars are being poured into building out data centers. But this incredible explosion in compute power creates a very predictable, very massive side effect. It's really that simple. All these amazing new AI models and tools, they have to run somewhere. And that somewhere is creating a tidal wave of demand for people who know how to build and manage the infrastructure to support it all. And check this out. According to the Cloud Native Computing Foundation, Kubernetes has become the go-to platform for running AI workloads. So you have this direct one-to-one link. As AI adoption explodes, the demand for Kubernetes skills explodes right alongside it. And we're not talking about some far-off future trend. This is happening right now. As of today, there are over 130,000 open jobs for Kubernetes engineers. So the AI boom isn't killing DevOps jobs, it's creating an absolutely insane demand for them. So what does this all mean for us? It means we need to start thinking of AI as a co-pilot, not a replacement. It's becoming this amazing tool that can handle all the toil, the boring, repetitive, manual tasks. And that frees up our time and brain power to focus on the really important stuff, designing resilient systems, shoring up security, and chasing that next 9 of uptime. See, this completely flips the script. Instead of being a threat, AI actually becomes a superpower that makes us better at our jobs. The question isn't, will AI replace me anymore? The question is, how do I get ready for this new world?
And the path forward is actually pretty clear. First, you've got to double down on your core infrastructure skills. The fundamentals always matter. Second, adopt a craftsman's mindset. Believe that quality and deep understanding are what set you apart. And third, become a master of the platforms that are powering this whole revolution, especially Kubernetes. Because believe me, in a high-stakes production environment, they will always need a skilled human, a true craftsman, in the loop.
So let's just reframe that first question we asked. It's pretty clear AI is not going to replace skilled DevOps engineers. In fact, it's creating more opportunity than ever before. So the real question, the one we should all be asking ourselves, is this. With these powerful new tools in our hands, what incredible things are we